Hey, welcome or welcome back. It is, as always, good to see you. It is Thursday. I finished up work, which reminds me I need to put my work laptop to sleep. I don't think you can see it, but just in case. Amberlynn uploaded a video yesterday evening. I was at a happy hour with some old coworkers / friends. And after I got back home and had dinner, I just didn't feel like dealing with an Amberlynn video. So we're recording it on Thursday instead of the day she put it out, the day after. But this one is titled, We Have to Talk, Rumors, Updates, Showing Proof. I'm not sure what the rumors could be. The updates are probably the medical updates with like her collapsed lung. Showing proof is probably having to do with the collapsed lung and the hospital visit, because I have seen, in like my recommended videos and stuff, titles popping up with people questioning that she went to the ER, that she has a collapsed lung. There was a comment on a different creator's video questioning it that was brought to my attention that I'll talk about that comment. I haven't watched the creator's video. I personally believe her when she says that she went to the ER and what happened. I don't think she needs to be showing her medical records to show proof of these things. Whenever she broke down and showed her medical records about the cancer and all that information, it set a precedent that if people throw a big enough stink and say they don't believe you, then you'll show personal medical information. And if you don't do it now, after doing it that first time with your cancer diagnosis, then it'll be then she doesn't have proof, because why won't she show us if she's shown us this information before? So it's that doing that first time, in my opinion, has put Amberlynn into a bad situation when it comes to her medical information and the way that people either believe or don't believe her when it comes to medical stuff. I personally will believe her when it comes to medical stuff unless she directly contradicts herself, because I don't have a reason to not believe that. And again, I am a fan of proof and facts, and I try to not speculate on some things. Every once in a while I will make a speculation here and there, but it's usually based on some information that's been given or something that exists. So, all that being said, let's dive on into Amberlynn's video.
Dive on in!
I do have her sped up to 1.5 speeds this time. So, I like this little hoodie that she's got on here.
Hey guys, so I actually just got out of the shower and I just wanted to give...
Actually, let's put her at 1.25 just to make sure I have time to process things she says before, and be able to pause her before she moves on to her next thought.
You guys an update on how I'm feeling. Pretty freaking rough, not gonna lie. So if you haven't seen my last videos, I have like a partially collapsed lung. The ER didn't see it, but they did see it, but they didn't tell me. I don't understand. So my doctor told me.
Did they see it? Because in the last, how would you know if they saw it? Was it in the report that your primary care physician saw? Because it's completely plausible that whoever was looking at your x-ray just didn't see it. Because I don't know why they wouldn't have told you, because if they had seen it, they more than likely would have kept you for observation and, have given you possibly maybe some breathing exercises to do that can be done to help with the collapsed lung. And then if it gets worse, you'll have to come back in and they'll have to go in and surgically inflate the lung.
Anyways, you can just go and watch my last video, but I'm in a lot of pain and I have a cough. Breath. I'm actually going to call today and make a CT scan appointment because my doctor faxed over the referral, so I'm able to call now, just so they can look more at my lungs and see if there is a possible blood clot causing this, or just like what else could be the issue, if there is anything else that could be the issue. Look how sweet. This is not a bra.
Hey,
this
kitty.
is actually something I was using for my shoulder when it was.
For everybody that thinks wifey has left her, here's wifey standing right here.
It's hurting really bad before I found out I had a collapsed lung, because I thought it was just normal shoulder pain. But yeah, that's not a bra. Don't worry. What are those called again?
A sling?
Lanyard?
No. The thing on the floor that looks like a bra.
A sling?
Oh, sling.
Yeah, it's a sling. There we go. Look at you.
Hey,
She was
kitty.
playing with my pen. Are you a journaler? By the way, I only have like 2 pages left of this journal, and then we're on to reach for new
On to the
heights.
giraffes.
Rarity's pretty pumped about it.
I can tell.
Okay, you guys.
Kitty,
so
kitty.
I did schedule an appointment. I do have a CT scan actually rather soon. I was expecting it to be more later.
That's good, but if it were to be like a blood clot or something, I would imagine they would want it done a lot sooner. But I guess it's been this long. So what's a couple more days, I guess?
Because CT scans are hard to come by, at least from my experience. Usually they're like scheduled for like a month out, but it's just in a couple of days, so that is good. A part of me wants to share this experience because it's a wild one. It's not one that I expected at all.
The experience of the collapsed lung.
And all of this did happen right after my fall. I don't know if they have anything to do with one another.
From everything that I've read, the only really possible correlation would be that if you were laying in bed and not moving for days on end, then that can possibly cause a lung to collapse or partially collapse. I forget the name of the condition that it could be. I'll put it up on the screen. It starts with an A. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but it's possible that could have something to do with it, or it could have just happened. Sometimes it just happens, to be honest. Like I mentioned in my last video, when I was in college, I had a friend that was trying on a pair of pants and one of his lungs collapsed, and he was in the hospital for, he may have just been there for the evening, or they may have kept him overnight just to watch him, but he was sent home. He was fine. But we are trying to figure that out, and I just have to continue being an advocate for myself because I don't want to cry. I feel horrible. I do. And I have felt horrible for weeks. And you guys have seen it. And it's like, I didn't want to like express physically bad, horrible, or like mentally and emotionally, because she's been saying for several weeks now that there's something going on, but she won't tell us what it is. Just that it's not medical with her. So I don't know. I mean, we know she was feeling not that great physically because of her ankle, but is this more the mental and emotional not feeling great? I tried my hardest to just be like, yeah, I'm going through something, and I didn't want to like go with it. And you know, that pile of clothes on my sink that I keep showing you guys, it's because I don't feel good. I hurt really bad. My breathing isn't normal, and it's so again, come over here just to me. This huge pile of clothes like this, whenever she's talking now about, you know, not feeling great, physically not feeling great, you know, would also make it difficult to put clothes away. But also so would possibly being depressed, and not depressed from like a chemical imbalance, but more of a situational depression, where whatever that's been going on that she hasn't told us yet has just really got her down and sapped her energy and everything. I know you all have heard of the spoon theory, I'm sure. I'm going to use coffee cups because those are images that I've already created previously for my website. And let's say you have these 6 coffee cups or 5 coffee cups to use throughout the day. Maybe it takes 2 cups of coffee to record and edit videos. That leaves 3 cups of coffee. Maybe it takes 1 cup of coffee to shower and brush your hair. That leaves 2 cups of coffee. Maybe it takes 1 cup of coffee to fix a meal for yourself and eat it. And maybe it takes 1 cup of coffee to feed and take care of your pets. That doesn't leave any more cups of coffee. You don't have any more energy to do anything else. So, despite this pile getting bigger and bigger, you just don't have the energy to do it. And when it gets as big as it is in this video, this picture that we have here, it starts to feel insurmountable. It starts to look like something that you just can't get through, that you can't get over. It's more of a physical representation in this case of how she's feeling emotionally and mentally and possibly physically. So I think right now Amberlynn is kind of experiencing this strange combination of a perfect storm. Physically, she isn't feeling great because she's just now getting over her ankle being injured, and now with her lung being collapsed, she's having a harder time breathing and moving. And then also emotionally and mentally, she has something else going on that we don't know about. So, I don't know. Now, could wifey possibly step in and help to hang up and put away these clothes? Sure. It's also possible that Amberlynn has told her she doesn't want her to. So, I know that wifey does do a lot of the cooking, and we know that Amberlynn likes to clean, so I think Amberlynn does a lot of like the little household chores. So that's probably a spoon, which means she has even fewer spoons, or in my example, cups of coffee, to do other things. So for people that are all like, just put the clothes away. She may just not have the capacity to at this moment. And maybe whenever she gets past whatever one of these plethora of issues is, then maybe she'll get the clothes put away. I mean, it's challenging, I know, for some people to put themselves into other people's shoes. And unless you've experienced some things similar to be able to be able to understand. I guess it's having empathy. Some people just don't have it. We all know that Amberlynn has it in spades because she's an empath, of course. But I mean, I can kind of feel where she's coming from on this. She just doesn't have the energy to put it away, and then she gets more clothes on top of it, and it feels like it's insurmountable.
It's like for people to literally make judgments on that pile of clothing on my counter when there's so many more horrible things going on right now is just, it just sucks. But why I really want to talk to you guys is because I got a message on Instagram. There's this reaction channel. Hate those words. It's just an excuse. Reaction channel is just
an excuse for what?
An excuse to make money off of someone who literally is going through it.
No. It's reacting to what you're putting on the internet, and whenever we're doing a video reacting to it freshly where we haven't seen it before, we don't know what you're going to be talking about, and we're just simply doing an immediate reaction. And sometimes there's nuggets in there to react to. I mean, I'm sorry you're going through stuff, but I don't make any money off this. I know most other creators are monetized and do. I don't, but she doesn't know I exist anyway, so that's fine and dandy. Unless she goes on a striking spree and starts taking channels down, and then somehow finds some of the itty bitty ones like mine,
who
starts striking
is
us.
disliked. So it's okay to constantly speculate and spread rumors and judge. Like, you're a reaction channel, not a speculation channel, not a defamation channel.
People are going to speculate because we don't have information to go on. So of course people are going to speculate, oh, she's going through something. Maybe she and wifey broke up. Based on some things that she said in some comments, I think it's something to do with one of her family members might be sick. Just based on some comments she's made on Instagram Q&As previously, and answering a couple of comments on some of her videos. But I don't know. I'm speculating. But I'm speculating with a little bit of information that she has given outside of her videos. Defamation. It should have a hard time proving that for some videos.
Channel. So there is a reaction channel that people have mentioned before, and I never looked them up because I didn't care. I've got to be honest. I watched 2 reaction channels just to see,
Zachary and Alex? Is that those 2?
type of rumors are happening with me. I need to, stay up on the ball game here. So someone sent me a message. It's a screenshot of someone's thumbnail, and it automatically was just like,
have you seen this video? I reported it, suggesting you lied about something this serious. Okay, I have seen this thumbnail. I think I remember what channel it's on.
like, assuming that I was lying about my ER visit. This reminds me very much of my cancer experience, where everyone thought I was lying. Not everyone, a big portion of people. I have never, ever given you guys a reason to think that I was lying about anything medical. There has never, ever been any sort of proof of me lying about anything medical. Nothing. I have never, ever lied about anything medical, ever. And I know you guys will only believe what is more entertaining for you. And that scares me for me. That's the type of viewership that I have.
When it comes to, again, I've said I believe her when it comes to this. I think a lot of it is because Amberlynn is bad at explaining things, and she's bad at letting us know timelines for things. So when it comes to this collapse long, like in the last video, I was lost on the timeline until finally she got up to the day of her going to the ER. I'm like, okay. So I think that may be where people start to get confused and think that she's lying about things, because it's hard to keep timeline straight because Amberlynn is not good at explaining things. And she leaves things out, either because she doesn't think it's important or she forgets. And then whenever she brings it up later, people think that she lies about it because she didn't mention it previously. As far as her audience, you created a lot of your audience. I know you, like, I'm talking directly to Amber. I know that she thinks that it's not her doing or her responsibility, but it really is. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't trust her, don't like her for whatever reason, because she's done some horrible things or whatever. But I think a lot of people want to see her succeed. I think more people want to see her succeed than not. I think even some people that don't care for her or don't trust her want to see her succeed. Okay, and this video is going to be super long. We're 5 minutes in and I'm 20 minutes into my recording, so I'm going to shut up.
And I know there's a lot of you who watch me because you do like me and you support me and you want the best for me. But the portion of you who hate me so much that it just like lives in your fucking veins to make me feel like shit, to call me a liar, to spread rumors. You guys are poisoning my life. And honestly, just,
I think that's being a little dramatic. What we say or do in our videos really has no bearing on her life. What anybody outside of her personal life thinks about her has no bearing on her life. I don't know how we would be poisoning her life. she could completely ignore all of this. Whoever sent her that clip or that screenshot could be like, she could be like, great, they can think what they want. And she doesn't have to listen to it. But she's feeding the trolls, right? She is responding to them. She's responding to hateful comments, and she's responding to the negativity. Don't know why I couldn't say that. So that's why it keeps getting attention and keeps happening. But I think she's been being a little dramatic with saying that we poison her life.
Dampening my spirit, and this is my job. I have to be strong. I have to have a thick skin.
Then do your
I know
job.
a lot of people could say leave YouTube. Why stop doing something that I love? I want the passion.
It's got another hickey over here on her neck. Apparently it's not poisoning your love life with wifey.
To come back. I want the love to come back. It's just hard right now because it's like I feel like I'm being tortured in a very 2022 way. This online torture is like a lot, and it like makes me want to step back, but then I remember all the people who watch me that actually truly support me. I have so many people who message me and say, you know, your videos help me with my anxiety or whatever it may be. And to those of you, I'm sorry that this is a rough patch for me right now, and I'm sure I'm not helping with your anxiety, and I'm very sorry for that, but this is just like, it's reality. This is just reality. So the fact that I have to literally sit here and prove because of this reaction channel.
You don't have to prove shit.
I want to say also, a lot of people always say, why do you care what they say? Why do you care what the reaction channels say? Because they're impressionable. They have large audiences.
They're not impressionable. They're doing the impressing. I'm Sean Connery. It's the audience members that you would be saying are impressionable, that they take what we say and be like, yeah.
That's just how it goes. You put something out into the world and people start thinking it, or people start.
They plant a seed of doubt, and then people start to think and ruminate, and yeah.
Questioning it. That's just how it goes. Anyone with common sense knows that. So that's why I care. That's why it matters to me, because I am currently going through something that I'm terrified about. And all I have
is this the lung
like
or something else?
Speculation channels just like haunting me. Not cute, not fun. So this channel is disgusting, and I'm glad I never found them before, and I will never click another one of their videos again because it was just foul. The whole thing was disgusting. And
I'll have to take a break here and watch that video.
So here I am again, very much reminiscent to when I had to show my cancer documents. Here's a screenshot from Friday, which is when I went to the ER, a screenshot from my phone when I filmed that video, because that is how I film my content currently, is on my phone. And then here's a screenshot of the paperwork from the ER. Obviously, a lot of personal information is taken out.
What's next? January 12th, 2023. Reason for visit, multiple complaints. I don't see anything in here that would indicate that they saw that her lung was partially collapsed. I mean, her oxygen saturation is good, the respiration's good. Her pulse is a little heightened, but if she had just been walking, that's normal for somebody of her size for it to be elevated.
But again, this all happened on the 7th, which was Friday. And then the whole thing, like this person, this speculation channel, at this rate, this bully channel, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So this channel put literally into the universe and into their viewers' ears that I was lying about my IV falling out. This person literally said it didn't happen.
In the video that I watched with that exact thumbnail that she showed, he did not say that. That was never said. He did not say that did not happen when it came to the IV falling out. What he did say was he doesn't understand how that could be traumatic. He doesn't see that as a traumatic event, but he didn't say that it did not happen. So I have to call a little bit of bullshit on Amber on that one, assuming she is talking about the video that was just shown in that thumbnail. If she's talking about any other video, I don't know because I haven't watched it, but in that video, no, he did not say that. He did speculate that it's possible he found it suspicious that she's wearing a maroon shirt with a black cardigan in this hospital visit, and she also had a maroon shirt with a black cardigan in her ankle visit to the hospital, which but they're different maroon shirts. That's obvious in my opinion. The one in the ankle video had longer sleeves. The one from last Friday had shorter sleeves and black dots on it and a lower neckline. So no, they weren't the same shirt, but for him to think, oh, they're so similar, that is kind of putting a speculative little bug in people's ear of what if these are the same shirts? What if these are actually on the same day? That is, in my opinion, kind of shady on his part. But he did not say that the IV falling out did not happen in that video.
So I'm going to post a screenshot of literally maybe 10 minutes after it happened. I messaged my family group chat, people I would never lie to. Those people know the ins and the outs of everything I'm currently going through right now. They're the people who are there and support me, real tangible people, and they're my family. Here's a screenshot of me.
I was walking to the x-ray room and my IV fell out and I gushed blood all over the hospital hallway floor. My clothes, my arm, etc. It was terrifying. And then somebody says, oh my goodness, I bet that was terrifying. Do they not have it taped down? And somebody says, OMG, that's horrible. Sorry, it's not going smoothly. And she says, I did have it taped down. That's why I'm so confused. You know, like Amberlynn says, she had her cardigan on and her cardigan could have caught it. And, you know, when Amberlynn walks, I'm sure she swings her arms quite a bit. So the tape would not have held it onto her arm if it got caught on her cardigan or her hip or something. It happens. It's not that crazy to think that an IV fell out.
Telling them and some of their replies. I don't understand. I get it. I get it. In the past, I have done my little fair share of things that I absolutely regret, but I would never in a million years.
This video is going to be so long. I am so sorry.
Lie about anything medical ever. So many of you want to know what's going on in my life and you want me to be honest and you want me to share. But then when I do, this happens. It's not okay to be spreading information like that. And it's
I agree that it's not okay to be spreading lies and misinformation. I think that's kind of a bad thing to do. Because then people end up not liking her or thinking poorly of her based on a lie.
An uproar. And then everyone who sees that video, there's a percentage of those people who are like, wow, that is quite interesting. I guess she is lying, huh? Some people can't think for themselves. And that's reality. Some people cannot think for themselves. I'm not saying specifically you, the person currently watching this video, or your freaking sister. I'm just saying there are people out there who view YouTube videos who cannot think for themselves, who join in on the trend of hating me. You know, the only way that I know that for sure is stupid shit like beanbag in a hurry. If it wasn't a trend to make fun of my weight, that would.
I hate to laugh at the beanbag in a hurry, but hearing the guy in the background just say that, oh, that's a beanbag in a hurry. To me, it's a horrible thing to say that about somebody and their weight, but the quick-wittedness, just the quick, well, that beanbag's in her, was funny. And it makes me an awful person, I know, for laughing at it. Because it's not nice to make fun of somebody in that way, but just the way that it came out and just the quick-wittedness, I did laugh.
Would have never became a thing. Never. There's so many more examples that I could give, but I'm just not in the mood. I don't feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, and I just feel reaction channels. You're supposed to react to what I'm saying.
We're gonna react. Shock and awe.
Not speculate what I am saying. It makes it unfair. I can't live a normal fucking experience as a person going through something that
Yes, you can. You can ignore it. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to read your comments if it's not good for your mental health, as you always say. So that's your choice.
I'm scared. And I swear to God, if someone tells me one more time this is my fault, I already tell myself that every single day. Every single day I tell myself that this is my fault.
What, that the collapsed lung is her fault? It happens. I mean, honestly, I don't think it is a side effect of her weight. And the reading that I've done on multiple like medical and health and whatever websites, I haven't seen anything that specifically says that being morbidly obese makes you more prone to having your lungs collapse. If anybody has information or a study that shows that, send it to me, because I don't have all the time in the world to research these things. I'm very busy. But in what I've been able to find and read, I haven't found anything that has said that.
I know that I'm not the best person in the world, but I know that I'm not a bad person, and I know that I don't deserve all of the hate that I get every single day. Like, I know that in my heart that I do not deserve that. Based on what I've done in the past, based on what I've done on YouTube or what I've said on YouTube, I know for a fact that I will never, ever deserve this. It's just, it's not right and it's not fair. And I'll never think it is. That is just this community of people who want to see me miserable. Like, it's just some of the things that I see that are said about me is just, it is honestly heartbreaking. It really is. But I'm not going to step away. I'm not going to back down because I'm not going to let you guys win. I'm not. I'm going to continue being strong. Of course, I have cracks in my canvas. Clearly, I do cry and I do hurt sometimes from it, but nope. I'm not going to let you win. I've been through a lot in my life. And internet bullies is not going to be the one. Not going to be the one to win. But those of you who support me and who have sent me such kind messages, I appreciate you. Like, you have no idea. Like, you know, wifey's here and she's been wonderful and she's just been there for me. And people were wondering if she even went into the doctor's appointment with me. Yes, of course she did. Of course. She just, you didn't see her because A, I don't really film her. And B, I was walking out while she was going to get the car because she didn't want me walking super far because of my lungs.
It's hard to see her cry like that, but you said she didn't want you walking because of your lungs. Was that at your doctor appointment or the hospital?
There's just a lot of confusing things happening right now with my health. I got a call yesterday from the hospital because I shared my experience because I was sent home from the ER with false information. And I had to share my experience. I had to let them know what happened. So I got a number and I called, and I think it was like not even an hour later. I guess when situations like this happen, there's a person for that, and they called and they're like,
yeah, I don't know if it's like a quality control type thing or like a patient advocacy type thing. Because it does happen. People are sent away with misdiagnoses. They are sent away without being treated properly. I know this is not as serious as a collapsed lung, but back when I was in college, I went home for Thanksgiving. This has been like 20 plus years ago, and went back to university, wasn't feeling great that weekend, and it was like Sunday, and I was miserable. I hadn't eaten like hardly anything for like 2 days since like that Friday evening. And my girlfriend's like, we're going to take you to the ER because our campus health services wasn't open. It wouldn't be open until the morning. So go to the ER. And the doctor, she sees me for like 2 minutes and, asks about what I did, for Thanksgiving. And she's like, oh, it's just something you ate. That's why you guys have food poisoning. And I'm like, everybody else ate the same thing and everybody else is fine. Oh, no, it was something you ate. I'm like, I really don't, no, it was something you ate. Sent me home. Next morning, I go to the health services on campus, and the doctor's like, you have a sinus infection and you have sinus drainage. And the sinus drainage into your stomach is what's making you sick. So people get misdiagnosed and mistreated in the hospital all the time. It happens. Even something as simple as me having a sinus infection and being told that it was something I ate, and Amberlynn having a collapsed lung and having it not be caught on the x-ray.
Out of the hospital or something. I wish I had the right words for it, but I don't currently. I just feel my brain is a jumbled mess. And they explain the situation to me a little bit more, and it has made things so much more confusing. And I just don't want to get into it right now, but you guys know that I will share everything, obviously.
So I'm wondering if there was just a miscommunication as far as they did see the collapse lung, but they didn't tell her because they thought somebody else did. If there was just a communication issue between the internal hospital staff, I don't know.
Because I really want to document this journey, but I feel like sometimes you have to
journey of a collapse lung,
process things before sharing them. In some cases, I'm very impulsive, and I just like automatically I'm like, oh, but sometimes I have to process, figure out what's going on. It's like more than anything, I want to sit here and just say, please stop. Just give me a break. Just please give me a break. But it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen because there are people out there with not an empathic bone in their body, not a sympathetic cell in their body. I understand hating someone or disliking someone, but speculating on someone's fucking trauma, especially the reaction channels I do watch, like I watch those too.
Probably Zachary.
I don't understand why it's traumatic that your IV fell out and like there's blood all over the floor. Because I had cancer. I was rushed to the ER and there was.
So that was basically the gist of what the video that I watched said. And, when you're first watching it, you're like, yeah, what's traumatic about that? But then you remember that Amberlynn did have the experience with her cancer of bleeding all over the place. And you could see that being a trigger for that bad memory.
Blood all over the floor. Like PTSD is real. It is a real fucking thing. I can't do this anymore right now. I just need a fucking break, y'all. Like, I shouldn't have to take a break from my job just to be treated like a human.
Okay. Well, that was an abrupt ending. So before I close out here, I do want to address the comment that was brought to my attention on a different channel's video about Amberlynn's collapse lung. This person says that as an ER nurse, she does not have a collapsed lung. We don't even call them partially collapsed, as she so ignorantly tried to allude to, i.e. lie about. Very rarely we might in a healthy patient, and when we do, we treat them the same. If you're a medical professional trying to explain something to your layperson patient, you might say it's partially collapsed, and in everything that I have looked up, you can have a partially collapsed lung. You can have a fully collapsed lung. But if you're talking to just your layperson, you're not going to say pneumothorax to them or whatever the other term is. So what's wrong with her calling it that? That's probably what her doctor told her. A 500-pound woman, if we suspected a collapsed lung, should be treated as an emergency and inpatient, period. Thing is, apparently they didn't suspect it. Apparently at the ER, they didn't even see it, according to what we've heard. In the case of a normal, healthy weight patient, they would not be going home to wait and see. In her case, as a 500-pound woman who we couldn't fit in a CT, she would be inpatient like anyone else for observation and supplemental oxygen, while we tried to transfer her to the nearest bariatric facility that had an accommodating CT. Amberlynn has said in multiple videos in the last 8 or 9 months that she's able to fit in a CT scanner because she does have to have regular scans to check for her cancer. Further, her O2 saturation was fine, her BP was fine, her labs were fine. Which is probably why they didn't notice or suspect a collapsed lung. So here the person continues to say, when we suspect a pneumothorax, you're inpatient for observation and then we decide. Are we doing needle aspiration through your chest? Do we need to chest tube you with some doxycycline or other meds? Do we need to get fluids off based on other specifics? But because she couldn't fit the CT and would have just had been suspected, they would not have released her to walk her happy Patukas away. The only way she was let out was AMA, against medical advice. Or what is more likely, she's totally full of shit. And there was no pneumothorax, aka collapsed lung. She's a liar, and I'm not sorry about being blunt. We call her type in the ER frequent flyers. Bottom line. She's panicking because of her mentals are suffering, likely because wifey is leaving and she's running to the ER for attention. Now she's here making up more stories. I think that bottom line is completely incorrect and stretching. But, you know, hey, I wish Amberlynn would have went to this person's ER because then maybe they would have spotted the collapsed lung and admitted her and, you know, done observations. Obviously, not all medical facilities and hospitals are treated or are, you know, equal. Sometimes you get people that miss stuff. Sometimes they just don't spot it. Or they miss it and it happens. You know, her being sent home because her numbers did appear to be fine isn't unusual in my opinion. People get misdiagnosed in the hospital frequently. So, that's my 2 cents on this comment that has been pinned on another channel's video. I have not watched that channel's video. But, yeah, I think, you know, hey, glad we have people like this nurse that, you know, would have done due diligence and found out what was really ailing Amberlynn. Too bad she isn't at the Lexington Memorial Hospital. But all that being said in this one, I do hope people can find it in their hearts to give Amberlynn a little bit of, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what for people to give her. A little bit of grace when it comes to some medical things, physical medical things. And people are going to speculate whenever we don't have the full story on things, like whatever she's been going through for the past 2 months that's been upsetting for her. But all that being said, I do hope she gets better. I hope the lung gets better. It shouldn't be anything too serious. Hopefully it should get better on its own. But until next time, be safe and take care.